documents more. The next one after this I know very well because it's one of the most significant pieces of Rav Kook's Torah.
I know very well.
And you'll see why, because it's what he wrote in England to the nations of the world, making a moral and legal claim that it's now time to give Israel back to the Jewish people. And the Balfour Committee therefore passed the Balfour Declaration. It was in that moment. So it was a very significant.
What year was that again?
1917. So, but that's the next document. The one where we're still in 1913, and he wrote this. A great Chibat Yerushalayim. Let's see. Okay. And the basic context is the world is noticing Jews are starting to come back. Zionism is that place taking place mostly in Yafo. They're building Tel Aviv. There's not so much action towards Jerusalem. And Rav Kook writes this, and it's published in a journal of the day. And then it was in the list when Tzvi Yehuda put out in 1921 the collection of all the proclamations, or those 18 proclamations. This one is number three or four. And we'll just start with the Hebrew and go quite a bit into English because we've already done this, and then pick it up from where we left off. But in every case, Micharabot Yerushalayim Kol Yotze. From the ruins of Jerusalem, a voice is going forth. And this is from the Gemara. Bat Kol Shemenahemet Keyona ve'omeret. There is a Bat Kol, a divine echo, the daughter of the voice that is moaning like a dove and saying, and it's feminine, Oy li shehechrafti et beiti. Oy for me that I destroyed my house. Sirafti et heichali. I burnt my heichal, the inner sanctuary. Vehigleti et beni leben umot ha'olam. And I exiled my children to the nations of the world. So it's God, after the destruction of the first temple, I'm assuming, saying, ouch. And then Rav Kook is now saying, that voice is still calling. Hakol kore od. It's now, and now we're hearing it perhaps louder than we ever have, or more of us. Because this is why the people that first heard this call, of course, is the Ramban and the Ari and all the people that came to the Vilna Gaon students. They were all in listening to this. This is what they were responding to. And now we're saying it's now time for all of us and to hear it. Woe to the Abba who exiled his children, and woe to the children who were exiled from their Abba's table. And the divine echo, which with a sorrowful voice moans only like a dove can moan. I don't know if I've heard of doves moaning, and but I guess but it's been doing this for 2,000 years. Has done so these 2,000 years. This dove has been sorrowfully moaning. And that voice of the moan is traveling with and penetrating all our generations and epochs and generations, Tkufot, Dorot, all the different time periods that we've gone through, different periods we've gone through, different generations going. And it is with the call of its moaning, with the sound of its moaning, it is speaking to the hearts and the souls, to the living souls, and even to the neshamot hametim, the dead souls, whatever that means, that have gone on to their world, and they are betzora chaim and tzurot. They're bound up in the bond of life. Even to them, as the pasuk says, even the dead in the darkness will wait for the day that your morning light will break through, Yehoshua. And now Rav Kook is, he's continuing on with this image, but he's speaking for us. V'kol nehemat ayona hamenahemet. And this sound of this moaning dove's moan, hine, see, this is what's going on before us. Watch this. It's hine. This is what the movie is now. Choderhu letoch ma'amakei levavenu. It's penetrating into the depths of our heart. Oh, remind me to do the thing on Tevet at the end. I didn't for Rosh Chodesh, please. And it is penetrating into the depths of our heart. Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, Mikdash Melech Olamim, Ubeit Mamlacha, Me'olam Lemamlechet Kohanim Ve'Goy Kadosh. Yerushalayim, Ir Elohim, Selah. Amazing how many descriptions we have of Yerushalayim, the holy city, the sanctuary of the Melech Olamim, and Beit Mamlacha, the house for the kingdom, the kingdom, the nation state of Israel, which is also a Mamlechet Kohanim, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. It's Ira Elohim. And when this place of that significance and that uniqueness, where did it first start? I mean, the Akedah was there. Was that the first reference to making it significant, or was there something earlier that gave it Yerushalayim its let's double check. I mean, the first reference I can think is Yerushalayim. The Akedah took place there. That's sort of the first biblical event. But in every case, here it is. And now, of course, it's because not that far away from there are buried the broken tablets and the whole tablets brought from Sinai. And the Beit HaMikdash was there, and everything took place in the Beit HaMikdash. It's buried deep there, and Amalek is freaking out that we're getting closer to it. But we're hearing its call. And Rav Kook's students, they lived there, took this seriously. They took this as instruction. And they heard it. It wasn't like he was making it. They could hear it for themselves. But Rav Kook is saying, giving us permission to express this part of ourselves. That this is what history is about now. So Yerushalayim, the city of Elohim, when it is destroyed, despised, and desolate, its bitter cries. The heavens are crying out its bitterness. And the angels of peace, Malachei Shalom, are crying bitterly. And this Bat Kol is moaning and saying, "Oy for me that I have destroyed my house," and so forth. Eket hi be'oznenu. And this is screaming into our ears here in 2026. The kol kecholeh, like the scream of a sick person. But here she's translating as a woman in travail specifically. And I'm not sure why, because it's more, but it makes sense because we're here giving a birth. So it's like birth pains as well as sadness pains. But so this is what now is screaming in our ears, the ears of Israel in the 20th century, and that began that process. We're, thank God, well along the way. But it's screaming in our ears, and it's growing stronger. It's intensifying, and our ears are hearing it with Rav Kishev. We're really hearing this. And this voice, Kol Ayom Adir Venorah, is awesome, mighty. Norah is a fearsome, is a reasonable, it's sort of like there's something about it that's really, and it is the Kol Hamulek, Kol Machaneh. It's the voice of a tumult, the voice of the whole camp. Let's want to get other texture of it. Because what we're hearing, Kekol Shaddai Bedivro, this is the voice of the divine, Shaddai in speaking. Vekakol Kol Shachal. No, I just want to. Kol Shachal v'Shagat Aryeh. It's like the voice of a young lion and also the roar of a mature lion, based on the pasuk Hashem ke'aryeh yishag. Hashem, like a lion, will roar u'mima'on kadsho, and from the Ma'on Kadsho is from his dwelling place, his really the home of his holiness, where his holiness lives. Yiten kolo. From there, he'll give his voice out. And obviously, it's going to be a pretty loud voice. Sha'ad yish'ag al nevehu. He will roar mightily upon his dwelling place. V'nishmatenu kulam mitchalchelet. And our souls, the souls of Israel, all of us together, we're convulsing. Nir'ashim v'nir'adim. We're nir'ashim is the ra'ash, the great sound that's like overwhelming. Nir'adim is we're trembling. We're shaken and trembling is reasonable. Hinenu, here we're omdim v'makshivim. We are right now in history. we are hearing, we are standing and hearing the voice of the turtle dove. Amenachemet micharavot Yerushalayim, that is moaning from the destroyed places of Jerusalem. That's where it's coming from. Sheholechu mitgaber, that is going forth and getting stronger. B'mirirut nehimatan, the bitterness of its cry. Oops. Ad meromei harasha, that it reaches the bitterness of its moaning until it reaches the heights of the clamor of the young lions are roaring. Ad meromei harasha shel sha'agat hakfirim. I guess that now the young lions are coming forth, and maybe it's the young Zionists, the kibbutzniks. They're the image, the people, the idealists that were making kibbutzim and planning to do so and doing so, and whoever at that time, they were very special people that they were making that effort so early. And he's calling them, that's what he's saying. This is they're roaring. Listen to the roar of the young Israelites, Israelite lions. And kekol shofar gadol, it's like the voice, a call of a powerful, the large shofar, not the small shofar, because it's kekol amim adirim, the sound of mighty thunder. Zorem v'nefetz, it's flooding, shattering. Im mecharbot Yerushalayim, and this is the pasuk from the ruins of Jerusalem. Oh, okay. Okay, he's sort of repeating. I think he said this more or less a line before, but it's in the context. If from the ruins of Jerusalem a voice like a moaning dove rises to our ears saying, woe is to me that I have destroyed. Maybe it's in this context, it's not found here, but anyway, but they don't go into it. They don't go. He uses the longer quote early, and now he continues. It says, if that voice, that dove, if that's what's happening, well, then right now, from the buildings of Jerusalem, not the ruins of Jerusalem, but the buildings of Jerusalem that are currently being built and lived in Jerusalem, asher ach, that they've only been foreign hands have established and are establishing. Right? Most of Jerusalem was Muslim and Christian building and living. And they were investing. I mean, once the Muslims took over, the Christians, but the Christian places, part of their thing was that they continued to I guess they must have some sort of agreement that why, because you think that the Muslims, when they took over Jerusalem and Christian places, but I guess there were people already living there, the monks and everything, and like, why would they have left them? Please remind me to ask my phone. Hey, oh, good. Then, oh, hooray! Oh, hey, where's the spaceship? But we're very glad to see you.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, it's a little late.
Yeah.
I'm on my
Good to see
phone.
you. Totally, yeah. I'm glad you're here. So what we're reading, this is the call Rav Kook speaking in 1913 to the Israelite people of the nation, saying, not only are the ruins of Jewish King David, King Solomon, Jerusalem crying out to us, and from Har HaBayit especially, but now in 1913, the buildings of Jerusalem, which have been built by Christians and Muslims, all Yedei Zarim, foreigners, the United Nations was building, which are to us as ruins doubled and redoubled, as we're seeing this going on, a voice like a woman in travail is heard. It's so much more painful. When it was being desolate and nobody doing anything there, it's still, it's our sadness. But now, the Christians and the Muslims are building it, and what are we doing? Because all the Zionist effort was not directed to Jerusalem, it was directed to Tel Aviv and kibbutzim and so forth. And he's saying a wailing and bitter weeping from the non-Israelite building in Jerusalem and the ancient Israelite ruins of Jerusalem. That wailing and bitter weeping is the weeping of Rachel, weeping for her children, refusing to be comforted. Because if once you're comforted, for they are gone, because I'm never going to be comforted until they come back. There's no comforting. And it's the cries for her children. And the choice of her children are not among those who come to quiet the moaning of the dove, and the dove that is saying, woe to me that I have destroyed. All right, so this is maybe where we should start. Yeah, this is where we should start to read it line by line, because now he's getting to the point. Because Vehator Higia, the time has come. And as we've pointed out, Torah is also referencing it to this process of Kol HaTor and all the teachings of the Tkufot, and each period has its step. And we had the step of starting the physical building, and now it's time for the spiritual. And Jerusalem is the home for the spiritual. The events of these days, they're all calling us in a loud voice, a loud call, and it's still till today. Yerushalayim, Bene et ir kachecha. Oh no, Israel. I want to change the punctuation. Because he's saying this is what is God is screaming. Israel, build your holy city. In case somebody can't read that. Zechor Amolam, remember, you people, eternal people. Am Kadosh. This is real. This is the children of Abraham and Sarah. Am Kadosh. And Moshe and everybody else. It's an extraordinary unfolding. It's like there's nothing else like it, obviously. And now it's time to move the story forward. Now it's time to bring it to the happy ending. We went through the bad stuff and so on, but this was before. We didn't have to go through the bad stuff that we went through in 1933 on, had we acted differently from 1917 in the 1920s. Build your holy city. And here's Rav Kook telling us, this is really the call of the prophet. Go forward. Shomer emunim et shvuatcha. Keep faithfully your oath. We made a promise. We have an oath that we've been carrying, which is from the rivers of Babylon, Asher al Naharot Ba'avel Nishbati. We took the oath from when we were on the rivers of Babylon. And you know, and why do you think Israelites are the greatest? Speaking about reggae fans, why do you think Israelites are the greatest? Their real reggae really speaks to them. And the reason I'm saying speaking that because Netanel is just joining us, and Netanel is a huge reggae. He's got let's look at his website and so on. Reggae is a big part of his being and speaks to his spirit. Are you there, Netanel? Can you confirm
I
to them I'm saying the truth?
I am, and I actually grew up listening to reggae music before I ever knew anything about Judaism. So that was an interesting part of my journey.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we're right here going to that. We should put on the song, but he's referring to that since the rivers of Babylon, we took the oath. Im ishkachech Yerushalayim, if I forget you, Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini, forget my right hand, right arm. Tedabek leshoni lechiki, my tongue should be stuck to my palate, glued to my palate, im lo eskerchi, if I don't speak of you, don't remind, because it must be that if I'm not speaking of it, that's why the tongue is affected. If I don't, okay, but literally it does mean if I don't remember you. Tidabek leshoni lechiki im lo eskerchi. But I think if I don't sort of speak up for you, my
Hey,
tongue should be living.
Rabbi, let me add one more thing. So, has anybody ever done the Kotel tours where they take you to the bottom of the old city? You know what I'm
Shoshana
talking
is
about?
crazy. Yes, some people
Yeah.
are.
So it's amazing, right? And so the tour guide, he was uh he was he was singing the by the rivers of Babylon, the song, and
Uh-huh.
he was telling the tour group, "Oh yeah, does everybody know the Bob Marley song?" And I corrected him. I go, "Actually, well, that's a song by the Meditations." And he goes, "Oh, really?" Because it's a different. I mean, because it's a different reggae group. But anyways, that's a little story about that song.
I love that song too. That's why, yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, speaking for myself in terms of how much reggae spoke and speaks to my spirit. So, so Rav Kook says, if we've been saying, if I forget thee, Jerusalem, let my right hand be forgotten and my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, if I don't point you out. And so Rav Kook now gives us, you know, straight ahead advice. אם את החלק הקל לעשות של השבועה הנה קיימת, if the easy part of the oath you have fulfilled, your tongue did not cleave to your palate, you spoke of Jerusalem. That's so it is that. So you said, oh, you've been pointing out Ki et Yerushalayim b'mo picha because Jerusalem, with your own mouth, you've been speaking about always, every single day in our tefillah and Bonei Yerushalayim, and it's a major part of our spiritual processing. It's a huge impression upon us. And, obviously, I mean, in my own life, the decision and the process to come to live in Jerusalem, though it wasn't, I knew right away, the first time I came to Jerusalem, I wanted to live here. And yeah, and I've lived here at different times of my life, and I'm glad to be here again. But yeah. But here's saying it's in our liturgy, it's in our prayers big time. It's in our haftorot. All the haftorahs we usually pick are haftorahs to do with Jerusalem. Aval be'et asher hayamin kvar hi drusha liot yad peshuta ונטויה לעשות מעשה. But right now, when the right hand, we need to not just, because the verse says, if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand be unable to act. Tishkach yemini. Tishkach yemini. I'm not making any effort. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, forget my capacity to act. And if I don't speak of you, then forget of my capacity to speak. But he says now, yeah, we're speaking of, so we can speak about Jerusalem. That's the easy part. But now, we have been speaking about it, right, all the time. But now in history, where the right hand is needed to liot yad pshuta, to stretch it forth, v'netuya la'asot ma'aseh, it's required to be outstretched and extended in order to act, to do deeds. Buying the land, building the kibbutzim, building all the things that are necessary for action for Israel to be rebuilt. Bekoach v'chayil, powerfully and valorously. Koach v'chayil. Chayil it's again, a chayal there's a connection between soldiers and the chayil. They're willing to act on that with that force. Beyamin oz romema, with a mighty exalted right hand. At this time, we need to stretch forth and act forth powerfully, valorously, mightily, and elevated. This is to bring about high-level things. It is now demanded of us. This first part of this eternal oath is now being strongly demanded by this divine echo that's moaning like a dove from the ruins of Jerusalem. Right now in our historical Achelek Harishon, certainly we've been maskirim and remembering and mentioning, and it's in Pesach Seder, it's always in our mouth and symbolically. But now we need to extend our right hand to act. That's what's being called forth. Hine hu nitba bechoska, really strongly. Mibat kol amenahemet beyonah, through this is what the bat kol is now, that's moaning like a dove. This is what it's calling for. Micharvot Yerushalayim, from the destroyed ruins of Jerusalem. Shema Israel. Here, Israel, wherever you are. Right? If we were to, oh, I don't know. This is, I want to make the letters here big, but I won't bother. But he's calling, listen, Israel, hear this. 1913. Mizrach Shemesh ad Mevo'o. Hear this from where the rising of the sun to where it's setting. Mikol ha'aratzot asher sham hudachta. To all the lands where you were cast out, exiled to. Nidachim. Ve'natot panecha bekol et chefetz leHashem. And direct your panecha, your inner being, your face, bechol et chafetz Hashem. Whenever you feel a sense of the divine presence, bechol rega ratzon, in every moment when you're expressing your will, והתעוררות געגי קודש בעמקי, לבבנו, and this awakening of these holy longings in the very depths of our heart, which we've been carrying inside everywhere. He neged Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, is directed to Yerushalayim, the holy city. Ir Kodshenu v'Tifartenu, our city of Kedusha and Tiferet, holiness and glory. Asher Halelucha Avotenu, where our Avot praised Hashem. Shema na. This is Rav Kook screaming to the world, screaming to Israel. This would be like, if we were to broadcast this, it would be like a speaker in. You could do tremendous animation with to put this stuff out creatively, and all of that. I guess I could just now my phone can just do it for me, right? But you can imagine that's because this is like a call that's being broadcasted to every home, every home of an Israelite anywhere, everywhere on the planet Earth. Shema now, listen, hear now, don't listen. But Shema means hear. Don't just listen, hear it. The kol hayonah hamenahemet, that's moaning, micharvot Yerushalayim, from the destructions of Jerusalem. And the shaget aryeh hayotzet mitoch binyanei azorim, and from the lion's roar that's coming from the foreign buildings, from the foreigners. And what's the major foreign building? Obviously, Har HaBayit. That's not really a Jewish. The Jewish part is buried. There's a binyan zar in the most kadosh part. Ashochakim al meshvotenu, these foreigners who are laughing, sochakim, they make light, mischak, make a game at, Nagid Moshvatenu. Tzochakim, yeah, they're laughing about our downfall. Al rifyon yadenu, al rifayon yadenu, they're laughing on our downfall, on our weakness of our hands. Al rifyon yadenu, we're not known for our muscle work. Vehitrashlutenu, and our hitrashlut is negligence. Be'et kosher, at the time of possibility, the time of opportunity. Be'et yad Hashem netuya letova, at the moment, at the time. And he's defining the time. He's saying this is the time when Yad Hashem netuya letova, the hand of God is reaching out, outstretched for the good. Lahachel befoal, for the good to begin in action. Livnot lanu, to build for us, et ir tifartenu, to build our city of Tiferet. When the hand of Hashem is outstretched for good, to begin in actuality, in practice is not a good way, in actuality, before, to build for us ir tifartenu. He's saying God is building, is reaching out to us and building for us the city of our Tiferet. And let's respond. 1913. Leharima mishomemuta, and the effort is, it's to raise it up from its desolation, le'atra betif'ara, to crown it in its tiferet, in its splendor, binyane chemed, with desirable buildings. That's very interesting, but really also beautiful buildings. And what the Beit Rav Kook represents that. At its time, it was the first house in Jerusalem that was built with electricity in the walls at the time of the building. And it was beautifully, there was the painting, everything. It was really done to express full beauty of a holy home. But he's saying, and Mosadei Tiferet, and it was the place for the Central Universal Yeshiva, Yeshivata Merkazita Olamit, which I'd love to reopen a little tiny branch of it at Beit Rav Kook. Maybe once Shoshana moves. The thing is, we need 10 people that are saying we're willing to sit and learn Torah Rav Kook at his home, for, let's say, a half a day every day. And then we can set up a yeshiva. Co-ed yeshiva, of course. But that's, that's what Rav Kook would like to see happen there. The Harina Mishom Mitah, we have to raise it from its desolation, to crown it with splendor, with desirable buildings, with glorious foundations, in the majesty of holy preciousness. The Mesodei Tiferet B'Hod Yikra Kodesh. We only got one more paragraph, so let's just finish it quack and then do the Rosh Chodesh. So here's the conclusion. Higia azman shebo anu tzrichim lahakir et kol Hashem mikol hamesibot hamitapchot. The time has come that we have to recognize the voice of God, the call of God, from all of these upside down, all the turning circumstances. But mitapchot is more than turning. It's like turning over, revolutionary circumstances. Mitapacha is one of the words used for revolution. Mikol Yitzrei Lev, that's coming from all the inclinations of the heart. Mikol Tznuot HaChaim, from all the movements of life, the socialists now and the communists and all of that stuff. And also the Nazism later, right? Apratiim v'aklalim, the particular and the individual, collective parties. And understand in all of this tumult in the world, Kol Hashem bekoach koel, and it's all the voice of God calling us, Micharvot Yerushalayim, from the destroyed places, ruins of Jerusalem and its desolate places. Kame kumi bni. Here's the last line. Kumi bni. Rise, my child. Banu et neshama, plural. Build the soul. Komemu et ira kodesh haneherasa. Rise up, reestablish the destroyed holy city. Zachru merachok et Hashem. Remember from far the Creator. Ve'Yerushalayim te'aleh al levavchem, and raise Jerusalem upon your heights. And that's this text captures a pivotal moment in Jewish history when the dream of returning to Zion was transitioning from prayer into physical reality. That's what he's saying. It's now time to bring our prayer into physical reality. And of course, now we're a zillion years further in the process, and it's amazing how much the second, third generation of Jerusalem is being built. The houses being 20 years ago now are more being built. It's all happening at huge pace, even during a war. But that's what's happening, and it's very unfortunate that the Jewish spirit, I don't want to put that stuff into it, but we blew it. That's not the Holocaust came is because once we didn't take the outstretched hand, we sort of got the boot in the back. And we've seen that Rav Kook says if it doesn't happen, if God's will unfolds, if it doesn't happen in a good way, it kind of happens in the negative way, but it brings about that conclusion. So ouch. But and it's still such a drag what we have to go through and the level of the enemies. And okay, so please God, may our learning and yearning bring the power and the light to all of Am Yisrael, that we can just completely extend our full power, light, and really sanctify the entire world. V'nomar.
Amen.
And I want to show quickly the Megid Yerachim, because Rav Kook, in his early years, in the 1920s, he did a series of 3 of them each year, preparing little poems about the month. But the one year in particular, he did every single one as an acronym. He didn't stick to that form in the other 2 years where he offered these. But so acronym means the month is called Tevet, which is spelt the letters Taf, Bet, Tet, and then he writes a poem here with that. So let's look at it and then see what the words say. But I'll just read it in Hebrew without translating it so you can get the rhythm and the rhyme. Ta'amu skenim ham'atikim hamargaliot. בתרגום היווני נשמרו לגלות תורת אל גנזו הראו אך הארונות. Now, what did that mean? Let's read. The machine did the job for me, I think. Oh. I don't even think okay. This, I don't, so what okay, what the elder, okay, the translation is, oh, I think I must have this. I'm not going to take time. The translation is, I'm going to read the Hebrew and then go to the English on the other, because I have a thing. Ta'amus kenim ha'ma'atikim ha'margaliot. The elders who they tasted, or he says they translated the pearls of wisdom. The elders who translated the pearls of wisdom, betargum hayevani nishmeru legalot, into the Greek translation, they were wary of revealing. Torat el ganzu, הראו אך הארונות, Torat el ganzu, they concealed the Torah of God. They showed only the caskets. The caskets might be a harsh word. Aron is the closet of the thing, maybe. But, you know, in that, when they look at, they don't translate it as caskets simply, because I was watching them. I get to do pro twice a day with the, so it takes you sort of the steps. And
maybe it's like spirit can't be destroyed and the body is what dies, you know. So they gave them the body, but they didn't give them the real spirit, the eternal spirit.
Yeah. So here it says, here's a line-by-line analysis. Ta'amus kenim, the elders who sensed, they tasted, or they erred, depending on the reading of ta'amu. It can be they tasted or they perceived. This is the 72 elders who were asked who had to translate the Torah into Greek. And they're also called the Ma'atikim, the copiers. In medieval Haskalah, this is the standard term for translators. So you're then using the word that was used for translators. And hamargaliot, pearls and gems, it's a metaphor for the words of the Torah of the deep wisdom. And the Targum Hayevani nishmeru legalot. I'll make this a little larger.
Rabbi, there's 72. Isn't there some Torah precept somewhere that says that there's 72 nations?
70 nations. But there's
70 nations.
72 names of God, right? That's a common.
Yeah, that's 70. That's interesting that there's this 72 translators that basically put the Torah out to the world.
Ask your machine for the Jewish references to 72, and you might be surprised what other 72s are there. But they're all called here. Okay, so that in the Greek translation, they were careful not to reveal. They guarded themselves in revealing. Nishmeru legalot. They were cautious. They held back the full depth of the text. So, and what did they do? Well, they hid. They archived the Torah of God. Ganzu implies hiding something. Magniza there, Gniza, where you don't go to, it comes from that. Something precious, so it isn't misused or seen.
Or haganuz as well.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Check this out. So I just Googled it. So it says that in the Torah, it lists there's 70 nations, the tradition of 72 nations arises from the Greek translation, which enumerates a slightly different count. So
Oh, so here we go.
we had 70 nations, but then when it went out, the Torah went out to the world, they had a slightly different count and they came up with
No, but you have to
72.
understand what it's referring to is the same Greek translation that this poem is referring to right now.
Yeah,
So
I
it's not the
know.
perfect thing. But
you
this,
said that there's 70.
I don't think in this case it's this wasn't something for hiding. That's just a technicality in how they
No, but I'm
translate.
saying you said there was 72 translators, right?
Because that's how many there were.
Yeah, but that's really interesting that they're
Yes, it
the
is.
same number of translators is the same number of nations according to the Greeks. So yeah, anyways, okay.
Yes, it is. So, but then here, so
With
they archived the Torah of God. They hid it so that it's not misused or seen. And all they showed was the caskets, the arks, the boxes. And this poem is a critique. Not a critique is a harsh word. This is the Septuagint, the Greek translation. Because it's considered a tragedy compared to the golden calf, because the infinite depths of the Hebrew language was flat.
This gave an opportunity for the nations to corrupt the Torah.
Yes, they took the story and then, yeah.
including
And
our own.
yeah, I don't, yeah, he
Philo,
doesn't add anything there.
Alexander Jews.
This is for the month that has passed. What about Shavat?
No. Oh,
We're entering Shavat.
oh, thank you. You see how much I'm in the past? Wow, I don't know why I'm still in that way. Oh, why didn't you tell me like 10 minutes ago?
Well, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, but that's such a, if we're going to, obviously.
Can we do Shavat?
Of course, no, yeah, for sure. It's all there. All right, so let's find Megid Yerachim.
It covered the month that we just passed, so it was worthwhile.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm lost in the past. What can I do? Actually, true.
Malcolm, how dare you interrupt with accurate information?
All right, here it is. Shvat. Maybe we'll see it all three together. All right. Shvat. Samchu atzei haya'ar, taria habri'a, בהתקדש חג ראש השנה לאילנות, טבע הרענן הושב לתחייה. The trees of the forest are rejoicing. The creation, Bri'ah, is calling forth. Right? The buds start to come out of the trees. The flowers start to come forth at the sanctification of the festival of the new year for the trees. Tu Bishvat, Teva Hara'anan, Ushav L'Tchiyah. The vitality of nature is returning to life.
It's a perfect poem, isn't it?
Yeah. Samchu atzei aya'ar taria habri'a בהתקדש חג ראש השנה לאילנות, טבע הרענן הושב לתחייה. So Mamish is not made the Teva hara'anan and also the Kedusha hara'anenet of Am Yisrael be really, because the Rosh Hashanah le'ilanot is also this, it's a huge spiritual,
Yes.
the rebirth of our spirit in the reefs. And boy, do we need to
Isn't it worth pointing out that
grow our forests everywhere?
Hillel and Shammai disputed what the New Year for trees was, and they said that at the end of days, the rulings of Shammai would come into effect. And today, certainly in London and Israel, is the first of Shvat. That, according to Shammai, is the new year for Ilanot, for trees. So it's a very special day.
Yes. Look, this activity that we're involved in and the effort personally and collectively, it's mind-blowing. I mean, at Beit Harav, I get such a picture of Am Yisrael. It's such a variety of people, different people every Shabbat. And I get I'm in awe of Am Yisrael. I'm in awe of the way we,
There's a midrash, isn't there, that the temple was spread out to cover Yerushalayim, and the sanctity of Yerushalayim was spread to cover the whole of Eretz Israel.
Yes,
and Eretz Israel was spread to encompass the whole world.
Yes.
So that's a beautiful concept.
And once Amalek is out of the way, we can do it. There's enough people that want their lives to improve significantly and want to live peacefully and well, and love want to live in love.
Yes.
There's no reason not to. I mean, it's way more fun. And yeah. So, but it is happening. Because one of the things I asked the rabbi of the Hester Yeshiva that was a Beit Harav this Shabbat was about the state of the Ruach Israel, and he was very affirming that it's it's growing very strongly, and that it's all the good stuff is Baruch Hashem happening. So Corey, find a Shabbat that you can come stay downtown in Yerushalayim, and you'll see what I mean about Beit Harav.
I'm down. Just gotta find somewhere. Maybe I have some friends with Nefesh Yehudi, Yerushalayim, that I could go stay with.
It's easy.
Yeah. No, I'd love to do a Shabbat in Yerushalayim. It's been a little bit.
And now, wait till wait till the rain is finished, but that should be a few days.
Yeah, hopefully just a few days. I know, feeling it today. My head's pounding. But I shouldn't complain. I'm not in the UK or Canada right now. Barely. But I also grew up in South Florida. I don't know cold, man. I could be at 120 degrees all day long playing football, but I can't do the cold.
So right now where you are, it's cold?
It dipped down a little bit today. Yeah, we had some wind on the coast. Yeah, just a lot of rain, but cold. So rain's also bracha. I just want the sun to come back. It was a nice week.
The rain, the Kinneret needs the water, the soil needs the water, and it's such an integration of Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael and all the other parts of Israel. But the land is really we're all in this together. So a lot of people are rejoicing at how at the natural. But maybe it could happen easier. Maybe it doesn't have to happen in a hard way.
I hope so. It'd be nicer. Be easier.
Well, the theory, maybe I should turn this part off because the